9 o'clock, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We don't have any miscellaneous motions, so we
Morning.
well, we do have one, that'll be Road and Bridge. I guess first on the agenda is approve the minutes of October 16th. Let's see, I was going, wasn't I?
I'd second that.
Moved by Meeks, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure I was present for this, and I was. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes. We don't have any miscellaneous motions. It's going to be a pretty easy day today, we hope. We're being teased anyway. I think. We'll call our 9:05 Rotary President Jay Hale.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
My name's Jay Hale. I pastor First Baptist Church here in town, and this year I'm also the president of our Rotary Club. And earlier in the year, we planted a tree across here in this park, just east of the courthouse. And the Burlington Promotions was to use that this year as to have a tree lighting ceremony at the end of the parade. The parade's on December 2nd, and the plan is they'd like to light that up. Well, to do that, we need electricity. So what I'm asking you is permission to go to the city and ask the city to run some electricity from where they have to the end of the building there. They do lights every year anyway, to hook from there to your gazebo and then to our tree so we can light up the tree. I didn't want to go to the city yet until I got permission to even let me put lights in there, put electricity in there. So that's kind of my thought. If you give me permission to go to the city, I'll go work with them and try to get electricity run over there. But it wasn't worth me going to them until I found out it's doable for you.
Are you going to do permanent electricity or just like cable? Or just like
Well, I could run an extension cord over there, but I think the best thing over the long term would be to run permanent. And to do it underground if we get them to do it, because we'll have people in there like the I'm not speaking for the promotions because I'm not part of that group, but they want to do Santa Claus and have kids in there and have hot chocolate and stuff for the tree lighting. And we don't want cords and things for people to trip over. So the ideal would be permanent and just run it underground and put a stake over there near the tree so in future years we can deal with that then too.
I don't see any problem with that. I don't see no problem. When they have a project come up like that, Jay, do their city employees do that, or do they hire? Because they're employees to do it.
Their employees do that typically.
Sounds good.
I have no problem with it at all.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Have a
you.
good day. That car.
So much for your easy day.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it picking on you, Carl?
That's okay.
Yeah, he's smiling.
Broad,
Okay, yeah.
broad shoulders.
Right.
I seen you guys had a lot of days, so I threw something together just to come up.
We don't have anything till 9:20.
Let's go for it.
We know how to cut you off.
May want to, so.
Probably not. You're not too tough.
You want them herder hooks.
Yeah. What I'll do is try to keep the distribution simple. Take one, circulate it on. First handout that I got going across was after we met last Monday in the afternoon, I figured out that we hadn't been doing any engineering leading up to where we're at as far as KSNC development up at Beto. And what I was wanting to do is I didn't ask anybody's permission or do anything. I just did this on my own and throwing these ideas on paper so that we could try to keep things progressing. I threw together a quick 5-stage. I was going to ask to see if it was okay if we spent money on engineering. so we could start the water plant up there. You'll see in phase 1. Then phase 2, the sizing of the mains leading from the water plant up to up to KSMC. In each one of those phases, I don't have details completely ironed out, but basically what it would be is the Sabin would work like with Public Wholesale District 12 with their engineer, because they know their water plant. We don't want to reinvent the wheel to start putting numbers together on what an updated water plant would look like. Their water plant,
After the lengthy discussion we had last Monday afternoon, all the people that was here, I was under the impression that certain individuals have numbers addressing all the issues we need for water, via sewer.
they have the
road.
numbers, but they haven't done any engineering for the plant itself.
And how do they get the numbers?
What they did was crunch the numbers, but they haven't done anything as far as the construction of the water plant, as far as what they would need. Because Public Wholesale 12, their plant's just about totally maxed out. So in order to take on what we're doing up at KSMC, because they're the closest water plant, source water,
Right.
that we would need to start putting numbers on paper of what they would need, because the initial time in which they started
So
that,
this discussion has not been had at all, period, zero.
it's been had, but the engineering hasn't been done yet.
And you know that for a fact.
Yes.
No offense toward you, I'm just
No.
saying.
Saban and I've
I don't
had it,
want- I
but
don't
it just
want-
hasn't been funded, is my understanding.
I don't want one
No, repetition of it.
entity, if you will, blanking over the other one, saying, come back, well, we already did that, or that's already been
There's
done.
numbers there, but there's been no actual talk of the water plant itself. So this would be the water plant itself. This was on that phase 1. There's been talk of a water main, but that water main was way back when we was talking about 6 million gallons a day, and we're down to 600,000 gallons a day is our latest estimate. So you're talking about a substantial difference in water main.
So would the county wouldn't be responsible for putting in a new water plant?
We wouldn't be responsible, that's part of all the financing, who's gonna be responsible for what. But if we don't have an engineering study saying what the water plant ought to be, because somebody's gotta spend the money to get that started.
True, and I know,
And
like I
this
said,
is-
he's had discussion with, what's up, 12,
I've had discussions with Full Sail 12.
whoever has, but they're all in favor of all this, but they wanna know who's paying for it.
They know it could be a
So
joint
there's
project.
all our questions. We wanna know,
Right.
we need some numbers.
They don't want us to pay for
I
the
guess
whole
what I'm
thing.
saying is, we're being told that we're gonna get reimbursed 100% of everything we spend. And now, no offense toward you again, Carl, but you're asking to hire an engineer to do more engineering that we already thought we already paid for that engineering.
I know the numbers have been done, but the actual water plant itself has not.
They had to establish how much water was gonna be used,
We-
size of the line to get there. Now they'd have to design the plant that's gonna supply all the water.
Exactly.
But
I'm not-
again, I go back to, there's no mechanism in place to guarantee that Coffee County is gonna be reimbursed for any sort of engineering, any sort of water plant, any sort of sewer, any sort of road.
My urgency with this is simply that when you start talking about a water plant or water mains, you gotta have plans drawn up by a professional engineer, stamped by a professional engineer. And then KDHE's,
And I understand we would like the horse before the cart, but in a lot of instances, so far as I'm concerned, the carts are way ahead of the horse.
there's a lot of instances that's going on, but
And
to me, it was
it's frustrating for me, because, again, I just state, we've spent millions,
oh, I'm not doubting that.
and I'm not in favor of moving forward on much else right now until I have more answers. I'm just gonna hold you
Last
down.
Monday was eye-awakening for me because I got 14 months in on this and I thought it was further along. But I know due to the permitting process, I thought I just come up to push the curve. If you guys say no, I'm fine with that. You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Well,
I mean,
that's just my stance as of right now, like I say, until I get more answers, because, when this all started, we were told we're gonna be reimbursed 100%, and this, and that, and the other, and promised this, but again, there's no mechanism in
No.
place in writing that says anything of the such thus far. And I'm not gonna be naive enough to think that Coffee County's gonna get out scot-free. It's not
Right.
gonna cost us something. I understand it's gonna cost us something. But I think, when we're not opposed to picking up the ball and
I get
taking this over the finish line, as long as we know what play's being called, it'll be fine. But we're not
David's-
100% certain of who's calling the plays and who's holding the cards and all that stuff right now.
I met with them last Wednesday, and they was quite in shock, because I've been told the entire time, we got announcements coming, we got announcements coming, announcements coming. We got more information coming, this is gonna be relevant. And they're just seeing it as, they're at the point, they know it takes a long time to get a permit, to do any addition to a water plant, to do any addition to a water main.
And I
And-
understand and I get all
And they
that,
wanna,
but until somebody, we're not the ones dropping the ball here. There's
I'm in
people
agreement,
holding
I'm just
numbers,
pushing the envelope a
There's people
little.
holding numbers and they're not disclosing those to us. No.
Do we,
Right.
go ahead.
My thing is if Coffee County goes and spends $6 million on the water plant, how are you gonna get your money back out of that? They're gonna be selling our company's water at whatever price they want to. If we go and do something like that, it ought to be Coffee County's water going to that facility than us selling the water to them.
The thing of it is, they're not against being in combination on the ownership, they just wanna know how that's gonna work and when's that conversation gonna start, because they're chomping at the bit, they just wanna know. And I mean, it's just a combination of 14 months of me telling them, we're working, we got this, and we really didn't.
Do you,
I would like one more week to make, give you a final. I need.
You're not hurting my feelings a bit on that.
do you have any idea how much, how many dollars would be involved for saving to do the engineering on this? What we're talking about as far as the engineering side of it. I share Tom's concerns, and I hope last week nobody thought some of my comments were negative, but it's
I would
the
look,
same thing. We're, okay, well, the governor's committed this money. Well, is it committed or not? I mean, in my mind, all that can be is, well, things have changed.
well, I
Sorry,
went back
guys.
and done some research on the articles and what was said and what wasn't said, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm
And-
not trying to be negative, it's just, you know, we've, a lot of money committed for the project, and
I'm on board with
and I'm okay with us committing some more, if there's somehow we can get a firmer,
okay.
uh,
I'll talk to Saving more, but I just went on a limb to push this curve a little bit
no,
myself.
that's fine, we gotta
and,
get the ball, well, everybody wants this to go, we're just kinda, we don't wanna look like the fools that,
No,
you know, and it's really, I don't know the answer to this, because every one of the guys the other day was, well, we're pretty sure we can get grants to do this, but if the buck stops here,
well,
that's where it's gonna stop, and
there's just a lot of play, you know, as far as getting permits and doing things timely,
heck of a catch here,
so.
in my opinion.
I sat in on that and I agree. I walked away highly frustrated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been working with people honestly for 14 months and then find out something wasn't done. It was highly frustrating.
I understand, and we appreciate what you're trying to do. Don't take this
No.
directed towards you.
You guys are responding, because it gives me
Yeah.
heartburn not knowing where it's gonna end up with the taxpayers.
Yeah, yeah.
And it gives me great heartburn.
Yeah.
And it does the board up there. They just wanna know where, when we start the negotiations, how much is theirs, how much is ours, how's this all gonna work out?
And I think in order to sort that out, the commission itself needs some more answers, and we are waiting on those.
I'm good with that.
And hopefully we'll have those answers in another week till we can further this discussion, and I'm not.
You bet.
It does need to be done. It does need to be done. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I take your comments and it's no sweat on
No,
my
this
back.
all
I'm pushing the
positive and
envelope.
nothing directed towards you, you know,
I did
Feel
just come
for
up
your
with some
situation.
excitement for your day.
I feel for your situation too in this, you know, 'cause you're,
It does put you on the spot, and we realize that.
Right now, I think, you know, the uncertainty of whether the CHIPS money is coming through, I don't know, I shouldn't say uncertainty. There's no real announcement to say, I mean, it's.
I can't tell you those are rock solid numbers either. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just giving you numbers to let you know, I've continued the conversation, they wanted to know what was gonna be done, I said, I'll go take a swing at this, I'll push the curve.
And when you say they, define they, I mean, who,
It's the Public Wholesale Board,
okay, all right,
okay,
all right.
it's their whole board,
I
Okay.
understand their dilemma.
yeah, that's about 12 entities.
You know, I drove past the north, or the west edge of Beaufort Lake the other day, and there's birds standing in the water. What water is there on the west side of Hope Road?
Right.
And I just look at taking another, how many millions of gallons of water out of that lake, where would that water be this year?
And you're absolutely correct in that observation, but see, this will be coming right out of their water contract. So we're not applying for, now we've taken the Kansas Water Office out of the negotiation product, part of this, because we would be in their water marketing contract. So there's a blessing in all of this, it's just we're also at the tough point of, they've used up their plant. I mean, it's not used up physically, the capacity of what the plant will produce.
What if, I mean, just throw this out there, what if the water tower goes up over there and they can supply it in the off time?
I can't say this with all certainty, but right now they're having everything they can do to keep up with the entire system as it is.
They just
With
don't
the
have
plant that they've
production.
got now, is that
With the
right?
plant that they have now.
Okay.
And there's, as the summer, as the conditions continue to extend, more people are contacting them about water for watering their livestock during the winter because the ponds are dry. So, I mean, there's a compound effect occurring with this. But the thing of it is that's a provable number. The Kansas Water Office would not have given them that big number if they didn't think they would be able to fulfill it.
Right.
Now, of course, if we continue into the drought and we don't have any runoff, of course, they have an emergency plan in which they would start cutting things, different things back. The residents, they would never cut back on what they made the industry. That'd be part of their emergency plan.
And the water's not available out of Neosho, right?
It's very, I don't want to say it's not, but it's very restricted at this moment. Very, very restricted at this
Yeah, I
moment.
mean, like, it's part of the issue that, like years ago, when the Corps of Engineers give their
Right.
dedication to Wolf Creek, that.
I know that
Pump
the
that
city of
water,
Burlington
whether-
has an application in for additional acreage. I know that the city of Emporia is getting ready for one. Wolf Creek is rumored to be renegotiating theirs. The city of Parsons is in negotiations with them also. Or
Wolf
rumored
Creek
to be.
wants more.
These are all rumors. I mean, I'm not in that part of it, but what it is things are going on in each of these areas in which people are wanting water. And when I started to talk with Earl Lewis in the Kansas Water Office, he goes, I want to compliment you, you're picking the right basin, meaning the Maritime. Because he goes, we have ways we can work with the Maritime. There are not ways in which we can work with the Neosho Basin because basically we're down to Council Grove Lake and Marion Lake.
Okay.
Redmond's basically it's used up.
Okay.
Now they have, I don't know, I call it the magical formula. They have a magical formula. They will not share what's available, what's not available, or the variables within that.
And I think you've said that before.
Yeah. I respect that part of it because that's part of their job.
It's believable when you see
Yeah.
the levels and, there's a lot of acres in Redmond, but if you dropped it very far,
Well,
you get,
Wolf Creek takes a great share of that water out.
yeah, it takes a lot of water. And then they kind of pump that year round, they use their
Yes.
allotment, don't they, whether they need it or
Yes.
not.
So the gallons, Carl, the grand total is based on, if that entire facility is,
That 605 is based on if everything happens the way it's portrayed.
if everything happens the way that.
It's portrayed.
It's portrayed.
Yeah. See, they've committed to what they call no industrial discharge, no.
Right.
And so it's taken that number and pulled it way back. Because we initially, when I started this conversation, was up close to 8 million gallons a day.
A day, right.
And now, through them recycling and the way the industry's shaking out, it's down to this level.
Wow, it's a huge
Big difference.
Huge. And but there's a beauty of that because it works into something mathematically that we can show on paper that we can work towards.
Mike, my,
But your concerns, guys, are all valid. I'm not, there's no hard
and
feelings.
my thought process as well, Carly, and I'm anxious to see what, how I'm losing lack of terminology and trying to pick my words cautiously, but I would like to see somewhat of a plan in place for expansion beyond that Vito, beyond what
Right.
KSMC is. Because, I mean, they're talking, person across the street's want a motel, and, you know,
Now,
in other
remember,
words, we don't wanna deter further expansion of that area just by working for the day, not
Right.
for the
Yeah.
future.
We'd have the whole west side of that property up there too, that, you know, possibly.
Or east.
there's some that you can work
Yeah.
into that, but once we exceed that the water marketing allocation, then that's when we gotta go back to the Kansas Water Office. Or I shouldn't say we, the Public Wholesale District as the source water does. And the reason I carried the negotiations for them and did that was to plant the idea and explain the industry to the Kansas Water Office. They trusted me to represent them up there and do that, but it's so the Kansas Water Office fully understood what we was doing in Coffee County. And Earl Lewis and his staff was very, very gracious and very good to us. And they was very, very open in the conversation. They gave us a lot of ideas, things to think about the entire way.
I mean, you know, that's.
The one thing I would make sure when we talk about it is remember where our two source waters are for Coffee County, one being the city of Burlington, and then the other one being Public Wholesale 12. I look at it as source water and distribution.
Yeah, I just see room for more conversation and more answers.
That's well taken.
So currently, approximately how far south does Wholesale 12 service in Coffee County?
If I was to throw out an imaginary line, it's where Hessa Station is, that big hill right there, I think it's between 23rd and 24th Road. That's where I would draw the imaginary line. Now, how that water
It's in that
pushes
area.
back and forth, I can't tell you, but that would be the imaginary line I would tell you to look at.
Okay, thank you.
I think there's an 8-inch line that runs right down the west ditch of 75 Highway that comes from either the south or the north that goes
Right.
up towards Vito. I would assume it's coming from Vito, but I don't.
There's actually a water main on each side. One of them it's just strictly for Lebo and Waverly, and then runs each way down on 50. And then one of them is a water main that does nothing but serves, and that's on the east side that does nothing but serve the east side of the road. And Coffee 3 has those meters in that area.
Okay.
So, no offense taken, guys. I'm just pushing the curve a little bit to try to keep it out front.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta keep,
I appreciate
we gotta keep it up front and keep it in front of us.
Yeah. We're all,
Cause the oops is millions and millions of dollars here.
and
Oh,
I'm not blaming all the people that were here last week either.
no.
Because they're all sitting there waiting, well, we think we can get a grant. I mean, everybody's trying to work on think, but the problem is they're kind of, well, you guys are, this thing's gonna come to a point where this is gonna need some money, and we think you'll get it back.
Well, I'll stick to what I told you guys at the end of mine. Devil's in the details of everything we do with this, and you got the job ahead of you of understanding each portion of it, whether it's financing the water, the sewer, and each one of them, the guy from Burns and Mac is 100% right. Everybody's got their own terminology, so you got also the expanded of not only having a vision for Coffee County, but understanding each thing that's going to be thrown at you, with the terminology that's included with it. So, I mean, I see the road, but I'm just pushing the curve.
Yeah.
Next thing I had is this is my everyday life stuff of the local wastewater and water. I mean, just the local wastewater. What I'm getting ready to pass around is a permit that I'm issuing. It's for septic tank lateral fills. And then the second one I'm going to circulate around you guys is for the wastewater lagoons. What it is it's just a basic common permit that I'm sending to the folks so they understand what their responsibility is to operate that system. I try to take all the language that's in the documents that were provided, and what it is to put it in a common language, and I send that to them. So after they get it built, I send them what I call the operating permit, and that's what it is. And that is something I've implemented in my time. And up to this point, as of today, I've issued 50 of those whether it's real estate transaction, wool piles that was left for me to figure out what was going on, or people building new homes. And I just wanted to give you guys a look so you know what's going out, so people, you guys know what it's required of the people or what their obligations are to taking care of their system.
Your guidelines, basically.
Yeah. And then this way it gives you a background if I made somebody mad and they come grab a hold of your ear and doing a tug on it. You have an idea. You have an idea of what we're doing.
I'm curious, say you've got a system that's been there for several years and there's trees and everything else growing around it. I mean, how do you handle that?
Basically what's happened, the way the code is set up at this time, we don't have an inspection schedule. It's not in there how often we'll do it. So what we do is wait for what we call a real estate transaction. So then what they do is however that takes place, whether it's the landowner or the realtor, especially notifies, and then we go out and we talk to them about what's right or what's wrong.
But in existing, there's not,
We don't know.
there's
Not
no.
a schedule.
Not at this time.
Okay.
And this is why one of my main drivers by was, because if you drive down the road, you see various ways in which everything is being taken care of. And to me, there wasn't one of these on record that was clearly written like this, to where it develops the expectation. So if we put that into the code at a later point in time, then we have a clear expectation of what it should be. I did a recent inspection of a septic tank lateral field, and the guy goes, I asked him, when was the last time you pumped it? He says, well, probably 20 years ago. And as you can tell by the chart, it should be pumped, if I was to give anybody just a general recommendation, walks up off the street, I'd say at least once in 5 years. And so what this does is it starts to give them something they can look at and know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not maintenance free.
No, none of them are. No, none of them are. And Maryland's been at it long enough and did a good job with getting them installed, that we're getting some of them that are old enough now that we're going to have to start, people's going to have to start, what are we going to do with them? And some of them, what we've been doing with is just digging a hole, taking the sledge out, putting it in a hole, if they don't have a land area where they can land applicate it and disc it in. And so far that's worked out. But that's just to give you an idea what happens on the other part when I'm not arguing with water with anybody.
When you're not talking water.
Yeah, or reading documents and causing confusion. So.
This chart here is pretty close to the way ours was at home. There were 5 of those, 500-gallon tank, and every year and a half we had
Yeah.
Every year and a half.
every year and a half.
And the big variable now is when we go into that, especially for septic tank lateral fields, is the garbage disposal. I had one where I spent a significant amount of time talking with her, and she goes, oh, now I see why you got your requirements. And she goes, we'll just have to change our habits. And so it was just the awareness of developing what the expectation and what the maintenance ought to be.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff could go in the trash rather than.
Or out to the chickens if you got them or whatever. I used to take the bowl of scraps out to the chickens.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you for the input. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you.
I just assumed what you were talking about was already included and was in some of the numbers.
We have numbers of when we started way back, we had those numbers, but we've never developed the talk of what we would build on site. And that's where I was wanting the head was to start this initial talks between their engineer and Saban, so we have a controlling factor of Burns and Mac. Or if it's Burns and Mac, that we'll work with them, but it's to start that because there's going to be a process with KDHE and trying to keep it. I have heartburn over keeping it timely, but the taxpayers' money and the ratepayers' money is at stake with all of this.
Right.
Because some of this will be shifted to both. It's just how much we decide. And they're fully interested in paying for part of it. They don't expect us to pay for the whole thing. So it's just where everybody's happy.
Right.
So,
Thank you much.
You bet.
Appreciate it,
Thank
Carl.
you.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Carl.
Come early.
All right.
You're up, sir.
10 minutes late.
10 minutes late?
All right. Well, Ryan's not here. He's kind of under the weather, so
Don't
I.
blame him, it's a beautiful day.
So pretty short and sweet. I guess just for information, there was one call out over the weekend. Stop sign down at 12th and Iris. Fog seal is complete, so they are starting hard surface maintenance with crack filling and patching. Striping, from the way it sounds, they're going to be here next week due to the weather, possible rain. He's figured he'd get more done out west than coming here and wasting his time. So he's going to look at mid next week, I think, is what it sounds like.
Take them a week to stripe everything we got.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's about 4 or 5 days worth. So, on the truck,
How much are we gonna stripe?
oh, I don't have that off the top of my head. I know everything that
Just the stuff that's been redone?
the stuff that, so all of our chip seals, we're doing those, which I can't remember how many we had there. 50 some odd, if not 60. We had asphalt, and then I think we have a few that we were gonna restripe in the middle.
So the majority of them are stuff, roads that's been redone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That answers my question.
Yep.
Seemed to me like 70, in the mid-70 miles, if I remember right.
That
I couldn't remember.
sounds about right.
It would be nice to get it striped.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's black.
Yeah, it's nice getting that done, but you gotta wait around for them.
Oh, sure, sure.
On our trucks, Craig talked to Tim from Custom Truck One. Looks like our barrel bed will be finished up by the end of this month, first of next month, and then they'll start on the snow and ice truck.
Okay.
So, it's getting closer.
Very good.
So, other than that, that's all I got besides our motion for the groundwater monitoring.
We've been using Blackstone for the last several years.
Yes. In which they were the only ones that bid this go around. And actually, it's the same price as what we paid for what they bid out a couple years ago.
Well, I'm glad to hear it didn't go up a bunch. I always hate it when you only have one bid,
Right.
you know, but.
But no, it's the same as what we got a couple years ago,
Okay.
so works out.
All right, motion based upon the recommendation of the Road and Bridge Superintendent to approve the bid from Blackstone Environmental for groundwater monitoring services, 2 events per year, and annual leach monitoring. This 1-year event for the Coffee County landfill, and direct the Road and Bridge Superintendent to sign all documents related to this proposal to be paid from Solid Waste Fund.
So moved.
A second.
Moved by Huguet, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes.
Alright.
The word leach, how's that pronounced?
Leachade?
Leachade, yeah.
Leach. I figured it's close to that.
Is that for the landfill? Is that what this is for?
Yes.
See that you don't
For
have
the,
something going on?
right. Yeah, they monitor, we got wells and stuff that they monitor, make sure that we don't have any.
Not flowing out. Okay. I figured so, but I just wanted to try to understand better.
Alright, well, that's all I have, short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
So,
Very
you
good.
guys have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Brad, yeah. Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, you wanna come up? Okay.
Not very many.
You want these?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do some
You don't have to
updates
take
to
them
him. No, I mean, I gave them to you originally, but yeah, I'll keep them and next time you have big documents.
Yeah, they're great.
Yep. Another useful one.
Put them on your ears.
Those things got so good bite.
They do. They pinch.
Do I?
They will pinch.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, the week ahead, I thought you were signing checks and vouchers today.
Oh, really?
Oh, my
I
God.
don't know why. The month's trying to fly by me.
Yeah, we're accepting loads for the first month or first week in November already, and it's like, my gosh.
And we got something going on, what, Wednesday down at Iowa?
Yeah, Wednesday
What,
is,
I forgot what that's all involved.
that is, no, Wednesday's at Emporia Community Foundation dinner at 6 p.m.
I've got a note in my notebook, I don't know whether I made a commitment to go or not. I think we got firming up today at the latest date.
And I think I put you down,
Pardon?
I think I put you guys down.
You did.
I submitted it, yeah. And I'm sure if you're unable to make it, it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
That's at 46.
I've got a doctor's appointment that day, but I should be. I guess I am.
I wonder what their main discussions are about that night.
Rural opportunity zones and. I thought I said.
Brad?
Good morning.
Come on up, Brad.
So last week, I had to step out, but we talked about the Thanksgiving dinner, and you guys had mentioned possibly doing brisket and ham. And I'd gotten a call, some people in another department were concerned that we weren't having turkey. And so I talked to Jesse a little bit this morning, and he said, let's have Brad come up and you guys can discuss whatever you want to discuss, so.
I've had 2 or 3 calls that we weren't having a traditional, which it doesn't make me any difference one way or the other, I guess, but I've also had some.
I don't care so much turkey's not the only thing we have there.
Well, the ham, I mean, I guess that's all I've got.
Well, I personally, if somebody's gonna have and wants a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, you're gonna feed it to them 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or a week before, whatever date that is. And
It says November 17th.
and so, yeah, it's a week. And so I would much rather see families have their traditional dinners versus a county traditional dinner. I mean, I would, number one, never have traditional Thanksgiving dinners, so, because I hate turkey, but I understand people like turkey, so. I'm fine with either way, but I mean, still, this is a free lunch, paid for by the taxpayers. And if we hit a happy medium with brisket and ham, or ham and something else, or whatever it may be, I don't see that anybody should complain about it.
I don't think.
But I mean, I'm sure your personal preference of, if you're gonna be supplying something,
Yeah.
you probably don't wanna supply turkey, because turkey's very hard,
Turkeys,
or you probably wouldn't do it.
yeah, I cook 100 turkeys a year.
I was gonna say, my condolences, you try this anyway.
Yeah, I do turkeys anyway, yeah, it does, it doesn't matter to me what you guys want. Okay, I'll cook anything, yeah. you guys pay me, I'll cook it. It's up to you guys to decide. I hadn't, I was gone last week, so.
Yeah, we tried to call, but, so we knew you were on vacation, so you're not
I
getting
got-
like.
I got
thrown
in
under
last
the bus
night at
here.
10 o'clock.
Yeah. We're not trying to-
I'm still trying to catch up.
Hope you
It'll be a
enjoyed
day
your
or two.
vacation.
It was very nice.
But it makes no difference to me what we serve. I know we talked about maybe changing it slightly, going to possibility of ham and brisket. I'm good with that, but,
What
we all have a traditional dinner at home, so.
I think it was ham.
Yeah,
Just
Just
ham.
ham.
Just ham
I
only.
think so,
wasn't it?
yeah.
I think, well, he bought turkey,
No.
like but he sliced it up. It wasn't traditional turkey, I mean, it was,
Was it just a breast?
Just turkey breast probably all it was.
it was like a ham loaf thing, remember?
I don't remember,
Because-
all I remember.
I think it was just, I
just
think it was
remember
just
ham.
ham.
Did you guys do ham? Okay, maybe it was the year before.
Where I worked, that's all I served was ham.
Okay, all right.
Brisket, I usually do sandwiches, so, that's a smaller portion generally than, would you guys serve, like you did before, serve them, how, you've had my brisket, you like my brisket, so, how would you wanna,
I like the sliced brisket.
that's usually how my brisket is. It's
Yeah.
sliced
That way if they don't
thinner.
want the bread, then it's nicer,
Yeah.
it's nicer to eat just the brisket, so.
So would you want buns available for a sandwich if they want them, or have enough to do one or the other? Do you want both meats for people? I'm starting to think of how much, what weight I'm
I'm
gonna cook.
I'm thinking as a Thanksgiving dinner, you're not gonna serve a sandwich.
Yeah,
You're gonna serve either sliced brisket or sliced ham.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a sandwich.
correct.
So that's my thinking.
To me, most, everybody probably take a little bit of both.
But you'd probably have rolls, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Have rolls
Do
instead of.
some
Yeah.
rolls on the,
Yeah, you got to do it.
dinner rolls or something.
Yeah. I'd say just rolls.
What
Sliced
other
brisket.
sides would you, cheesy potatoes and,
You need
green
your
beans?
stuffing?
I can.
Don't
I've
care
done,
for it?
that is, I can, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done stuffing before, how many people are we talking? That's,
Well, we usually, in the
Feed-
past, you've allowed
feed.
spouses to come.
Mhm.
I don't know if you still want to continue doing that, or you want it to just be for employees.
I know there's someone last year that come down and got to go stuff, and they took some for their spouse and them. So it matters not to me.
But this,
So,
But we are sticking with brisket, it sounds like.
brisket and ham.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
we
that's all
planned
right, I
for
mean,
200 when we did that.
I guess I'd prefer the turkey myself, but then, I don't even like turkey, but just based on, yeah, it's whatever.
You're being pressured.
Last year, yeah, it was just, excuse me, I'm sorry, beef peppers.
It was ham
It's a
and
blood sugar thing, but anyway, it was just ham and cheese potatoes and I think
green beans, I think.
And a roll and some pies was all they
Sounds
had.
like a good meal to
And
me.
salad.
And was this,
Yeah, salad too.
was last year,
You
did
got the
they
salad
pick
from
up and go, or did they?
Yeah, it was all to go.
That's what
But
they said.
this year, we're going to have it
At the
at the
4-H.
Which I
4-H
like much better. Probably, that'd be my preference, yeah.
I don't know. Did we have a lot of salad stuff left over last year, didn't we? Is it?
We cut it back, figure,
Last year you ran out of salad, the year
Ran
before
out
we had a lot
too
of
much,
salad.
yeah.
So you
so
cut
we
it back.
need to go up one maybe to have it.
Up a little bit.
There wasn't a whole lot left over. I
And
mean,
last-
what they did have left over, they took to the Indians every year.
What, on the spouses, is that normally the way you've done it in the past? Spouses included if they wanted to?
Yeah.
For the Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
historically,
that'd be good.
and not everybody's spouse comes,
No, I know, but
but
if they.
they offered it up, and I think we have roughly 155 employees, but not all employees even come sometimes, because they're on shift work or whatever, so, but we've always planned for 200, and that was,
Okay.
seemed to work.
Do you want a quarter pound for each person? Do you want a third pound of meat for each person, split between the two meats?
What do you normally figure?
Sandwiches, I figure a quarter pound. If they're, if they eat a lot, I figure a third pound. I don't want to run out.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have leftovers than
Yeah.
Watch some of them road and bridge boys eat burgers there at the company.
I made the half pound for some of them boys.
Those were
Double
pretty big
stack.
burgers. But they were good.
Yeah. Some of them took
And if you guys serve, that, you could, keep it from, I've gone to a wedding and watched them take a plate that big before. I'm like,
Where are we at? Yeah, you gotta let us know kind of what to serve,
yeah.
you know.
Well, and everybody goes through, and then if there's leftovers,
Right.
it's
Which I think that's the way it was on the appreciation thing, they came back through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pre-COVID, we'd basically done a potluck type thing. I'd cook turkey for the commissioners, 100 pounds of turkey or whatever, and each department would bring a side. I think I bought green beans, and somebody would bring a salad, and some, desserts. And so if you want to cater it, then we can do that too.
I'd hope this would be enjoyed by all, and if
Yeah.
it's being supplied.
Yeah.
That'd be my hope.
Yep. So, do we want
Brisket,
brisket, ham,
ham,
I'll be back.
cheesy potatoes,
cheese potatoes?
green beans,
Green beans and rolls.
and rolls. Okay.
Yep, that
Can do
sounds
that.
good.
All right. For 200 people.
Sounds pretty darn good, Brad.
I'll make
And then
it
we do salad and the pies.
Salad and pies.
Did we buy the pies someplace or Brad made them?
We got them from,
Okay.
Very good, very good.
so. Yeah. You don't want me making pies, so.
I heard the smoke, ain't they?
Yeah, they are. I actually have smoked on it.
I can
It
see
changes the
Brad-
flavor a
It's
little.
different.
I can
It's
see
different.
Brad smoking.
It makes a different tasting pie.
Yes, it does.
So you have rolls, brisket, ham, cheesy potatoes, and green beans, right?
Okay. All right.
Salad and
Salad and pies.
pies.
I'll do that.
Sounds good.
It's on the 17th.
Friday.
11:30.
Yeah,
Okay.
4-H building.
To me, it's kind of
I'll be gone that morning cooking.
a holiday appreciation meal. It's 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 1 week. Yeah, well, 1 week, yeah.
But regardless.
So, yeah, by end of Thanksgiving, I don't want turkey for a while. So.
Yes, my wife likes turkey.
I'm good for turkey for one meal, but as far as leftovers, I really don't care for that
Yeah.
turkey.
Okay. Okay. And I've got computer bids in. I'm still going through them. You guys need to approve them. How late are you guys? You think you'll be here for a while? Or I can
I think
semi-approve?
it's usually
I could let
going
them
on.
know and I could come back Monday and get a final approval from you.
There is nothing else on our agenda today, so.
When you
I'm
walk
not
out,
ready yet.
when you walk out, we may be done.
Okay, I could let the person, let them know that they have the low bid and get a final approval from you next week.
Yeah, just put it next week.
It's
Been
pre-planned and it's pre-planned and it's already, in your capital outlay budget and all like that anyway, so.
Yeah. This
You
means
just gotta make a motion to approve it, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll bring it back next Monday then. Okay. Got a little catching up to do yet. Can only do so much from my phone on the
Right.
beach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Well, guess we're at roundtable.
Well, he's
No
not
way.
here.
Nope.
No way.
I don't have anything.
I'm good for today. Jesse?
Mr. Ray, Mr. Tom?
Told Carly there was some numbers we're waiting on, so.
And I think that was a good discussion. I mean, but a bigger project than that's gonna be, I don't think there's any question, we'll have more, you'll have a lot more answers to gather than you, and sooner or later you gotta come up with them, so.
I'm just really concerned about how we're ever gonna get the answer that we wanna hear, that money's gonna be there. That's what's, as Carl said, giving me heartburn.
Mhm. I've got some documents at my office that I need to go through, and do some highlighting and then pull them off those documents over onto a piece of paper that might help,
Okay.
as well. I just thought of them, so. See what we can come up with there. Anything else? No. Angie?
Nothing. Wow. Other than, well, you've got the Wednesday night, meeting, if you all go to that. And then, I guess that's really it. Check some vouchers next Monday.
Yeah.
And that'll be next Monday, right?
Yeah.
We've got to do something with the deal for the sheriff's office. Is that coming up?
KPNF
KPNF?
discussion next Monday.
It's next Monday?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it was getting out the wire on that.
That has to be done by what, December 1?
Before December 1.
December 1.
Okay.
They'll be here
We gotta be in for me to
at the next meeting,
Do what?
We gotta be in for me to sign.
No.
they'll be here at the next meeting, Andrew, the 30th.
Yes.
The next capers?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Pool guy's supposed to show up Wednesday to close the pool out, up at the Bailey property, our property, north.
Yeah, I see where they got irrigation, the
Irrigation's going in
stuff
here.
going in here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well underway, looks like.
Yep.
Wade was kind of running that. I don't know if they got a hold of the people that did the blocks around the courthouse to see if they can come in and redo square up the Coffee County portion of it, make it the sign.
Make it match the other
Yeah,
stuff. right?
yeah. Anyway, I think that is the only, discussion I had. The roundtable.
You said the pool guy will be here
Wednesday. Yeah. Go unlock some stuff for you, so.
Sounds like the weather's gonna cool off a little bit.
chilly.
Yep.
When's that supposed to start?
Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Cold front's bringing the rain in.
Yep.
Hopefully we get some rain.
Stays in the sixties and seventies till Saturdays.
Oh, till Saturday.
We're talking pretty good chance, hopefully it makes it here.
Hopefully it does.
Let the tornadoes stay away.
Pray for rain.
Yeah, there
We don't
is
need any tornadoes.
significant chance pretty much every day through Sunday so far, so.
Yeah, that weather model showed it just keep coming up there and curving is what was on TV today.
Bring it on.
I know these ponds needed.
Bad.
Taking a lot of 4 or 5 inches of rain, so it's even running.
It will.
Yeah, it's rained really hard, it's gonna take a lot.
If anybody's wanting to take a drive, it's really something to see that lake up there north of Lebo. I mean, there's not very long-legged birds walking out across that
No.
water, clear up next to the divider dike.
Yeah.
Really?
And then the river channel, it's just all silted in, but I mean, there's nothing north or west. Yeah, nothing. So it's,
John Redmond's kinda the same way, but I noticed somebody had done it before, though, when the lake's been way down. Somebody drove their four-wheeler off where it looked dry.
go for a ways, or you better be going very, very fast.
I seen, somebody had a four-wheeler went out to pull the four-wheeler out and got that four-wheeler stuck, and then next thing you know, a big four-wheeler pickup thought they could accomplish it, and that didn't happen, and then it'd just be a long string of chains and trucks and.
That dragon chain
Pretty
in the
amazing.
mud, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I stay out of it.
Really be good on our shoulder, wouldn't it? Especially when you're knee deep in sludge.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, well, nobody else has anything? We will have an early day at 9:55 adjourned.
Getting off early tomorrow.
Watch out next week.